What is happening there? Gamer Dude here, and I'm going to be talking about, or rather talking through, the shows that I'm going to be watching in the fall 2023 anime list, season list thing, whatever you call it, okay? I'm just using my anime list, and it's the new season. What can I say? What I'm going to be doing is listing out the shows in the description below, but of course I'll also have timestamps for like the shows that I'm going to be watching. So feel free to just kind of hop down there if you just want to look at something very specific. But beyond that, that's kind of the introduction. Let's just kind of jump right into it. So first and foremost, I am definitely going to be continuing to watch SpyxFamily Season 2. Or, well, continuing to watch SpyxFamily into Season 2. So, SpyxFamily, great show, very entertaining, was an ingenious slice of life that was well animated and put together, and I can't really say enough good things about it. So of course I am very excited to see what's gonna happen, and of course I feel like it's gonna very much center around Anya, the dog Bond, and just oh man, it's gonna be fun. Let's just kind of turn our brains off, watch the show, and just have a good time. I feel like we're looking at a really good show, but again, we won't know until it actually releases and we watch it, but it won't be long now anyways, so let's get excited. Now, a show that I never expected to get a season 2 is the next one that we're going to be talking about. Season 1 was very entertaining. Actually, you know what? Let's just actually jump right into it. So it's going to be Goblin Slayer Season 2. So Goblin Slayer Season 1 was surprisingly more gripping than I took it for, as just about the singular lone wanderer. There's pretty much the dude on the left, who all he does is just hunt down goblins. And people think, oh, it's just goblins. Like, what's the worst that they could do? But the goblins in Goblin Slayer will do a lot of real nasty stuff to you if you're underprepared. And no beginning adventurer should ever go out of their way to fight such a group of like tiny monstrosities, essentially. And so Goblin Slayer, the main character is called Goblin Slayer. He takes it upon himself to take all jobs relating to killing goblins, and he's become such an expert at it that he could look at goblin behavior and be able to tell what they're thinking, how they're going to act. And even in season 1, when he managed to just blow up an entire base of goblins as the goblins burn to the ground, it was glorious. But those goblins absolutely deserved it. I'm gonna put it out there for sure. Those goblins deserved the pain and hurt that came their way. So don't feel bad for, like, you know, these tiny goblins. To an extent, they all, in this world especially, deserve to just fall and die. But while that sounds incredibly dark, that's kind of what this series is. It is actually pretty dark, and honestly, that's part of the entertainment factor when it comes down to it. That's what I really enjoyed about season 1. So I am very much looking forward to seeing where season 2 goes, what new characters we're going to be seeing. You know, it's like the blind lady priest from like the end of season 1 gonna return. Like, you know, what's gonna happen there. There's a lot of story points we could jump off of, but it'll be good to see what the Goblin Slayer is going to be up to in the upcoming season. How many goblins is he going to hunt? And is that going to change up the way he hunts goblins? And are those goblins going to show some new behavior? Who knows? Only time will tell. I probably should read ahead, but I kind of also don't want to, just because this is coming up in like the next week or so. So very excited to see what is going to be happening here. Next we have is Dr. Stone New World Part 2, which is Season 3 Part 2 of Dr. Stone. I feel like the more time, like the previous season, I feel like we're getting close to, like, I feel like the end of the actual series, because I feel like we're kind of at the point where we're going to find out what the cause of the ray was that caused everyone to turn to stone. Like, we're reaching that sort of point of finality to the actual series. But then even if we do discover, you know, what caused the beam that turned everyone to stone, and we stop people being turned to stone, how are we going to get humanity back to the way it was? You know, being able to use tools, being able to continue to develop human understanding, and also the technology that we have through science that was previously discovered. I mean, the main journey on the previous season was getting a hold of platinum to be able to, you know, create more of the sort of revival fluid that is being used to turn people who have been turned to stone back to just normal people. So it'll be interesting to see where we go from here, because now we've reached some level of uncharted lands beyond the island that the main characters have kind of been on for all of Season 1, Season 2, and a little bit of Season 3 Part 1. So very interested to see how that goes. Of course, watch Yusei before you watch Season 3 Part 1, which is New World Part 1, so heads up on that. It's exciting. I have no theories about where this could go, because I actually want to go on the ride that the show is going to take me on. So very much excited. Again, as with these last two shows, how things are going to go. Now we're kind of moving on from this extra additional seasonal stuff to the original stuff that we're going to be seeing this season, which is Soso no Frieren. Now this one I was a little bit hesitant to want to watch, only because I thought it was an isekai, but it isn't. It just takes place in a fantasy world. There is no form of resurrection or anything like that, and it does seem like an interesting idea, albeit it's taken a tad bit more seriously than, like, say, me watching Yusha ga Shinda, for example, which was like a show from a couple of seasons ago, which was sort of more on the comedic side of hero dies, and then the main character gets turned into a hero through necromancy and stuff like that. This is a little bit different, where the Demon King is dead, and the party returns home. Everyone goes back to doing whatever it is they were doing before they went on that journey, and then it kind of then takes on the idea of the passage of time, and kind of what happens with each of the characters, kind of like what that movie that I really really like is did. I'm trying to remember what it was called, and it's like sitting right there in that box next to me, but I can't see it, where the passage of time is so much slower for like an older aging race. But yeah, so it'll be fun to see, what kind of journey, these sort of main characters are going to go off of. Kind of what's going to happen from here, because there isn't much more information to go off of, and to be honest, you don't really need much more. It does look very nice, the animation style, so I am very much looking forward to jumping into and watching this. But moving on from that to a manga series that I had heard of, but actually didn't really know much about, besides the sort of basic premise surrounding it, which is Kimi no Koto ga Daidaidaidaidaisuki na 100 nin no Kanojo. So the 100 girlfriends that really, really love you. So I feel like they're kind of going into a similar way as they did with the plot for like Galgun, for example, where like if the main character doesn't kiss the one girl that he likes, he'll end up forever alone for the rest of time. But yeah, so praying to finally get a girlfriend in high school, the main character gets turned down about 100 times before even reaching that point, which is kind of like a sad thing to think about. So I'm just hoping that this is sort of like more like a sort of more comedy heavy, not romance heavy show, because of the whole idea of like 100 girls chasing after this one guy. It seems comedic in tone and idea, so I am looking forward to seeing at least how the comedy aspects go. Hopefully it doesn't take itself too seriously and doesn't go too much down the path of like a proper romance or anything, but you never know how these sorts of things can turn up, whether or not they're going to break from any sort of tradition that could be written about sort of rom-coms and things like that. So who knows where this goes. Again, excited to jump in. Let's kind of get into it hopefully soon in the coming week or two. I don't know, like the season's gonna start soon anyways. Next we have is I actually scroll down a lot. Under Ninja, which is just main character gets hired to become a modern day ninja and does assassinations for like the people who hired him. Yeah, sure, let's go with that. And also the dude is a loner. And also I do like the sort of art style that we're seeing here, something a little bit different than what we're usually used to. So again, very excited to see where this goes. You know, sort of what does a modern day ninja look like? What is the take on this series as to like that idea of the modern day ninja and not just the stereotypical thing we would see from a Naruto or from like a Kunoichi Tsubaki, which we did see. So excited to have a look at that and what this whole crew is about. I wonder who the actual like main character is though. That's probably this guy in the middle. Maybe it might be this guy who's embracing the wind. Who knows? Or praising the sun. Yeah, well. And finally, well, other than One Piece, which I'm obviously going to be watching, is going to be this one right here. Dekoboko Majo no Oyako Jijou. Slice of life told by a mother and daughter who look like the complete opposite of each other. So it goes for the gag humor idea where like there's this witch who finds a girl who she then raises, and somehow from what I can tell, the girl that grows up who looks up to the witch as a mother figure looks older than her, I guess. I don't know, I'm not too sure where to go with that one, but the art style does look kind of adorable, and I do like me a good cute slice of life. So I suppose in terms of slice of life shows, I do have SpyxFamily already, so no Frieren potentially, and Kimi no Koto ga Daidaidaidaiisuki Hyakini no Kanojo. But they kind of are different flavors of slice of life. So this one I'm kind of hoping for like each episode to end with a smile on my face, kind of like what shoot, what was that show with Renge in it called? Non Biori, yes, Non Biori. That's exactly what I'm kind of hoping from the show. But of course, if that's not what I get, I'm happy with that, as long as it's entertaining and does leave that smile that I'm talking about on my face. So I guess that's kind of where I'm going to leave it off. These are the shows that I'm going to be watching, in addition to, of course, One Piece continuing on, because why the hell not? It seems like Crunchyroll has already confirmed all of these shows are going to be on their service, except for Dekoboko, so I'm going to see whether or not that's going to appear. There are a few shows that haven't been announced yet, so fingers crossed that that's one of them. But let me know what you guys thought of my selection of shows that I'm going to be watching this season. Comment below. Of course, if you're interested in watching any of those shows, or if there is, you know, some other shows you're interested in watching that I have not mentioned, because there are a lot of really popular shows that are getting additional seasons that I won't be watching personally, because I didn't watch the first season and likely probably don't have much of an interest in watching. So with all that said and done, comment below, like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if well, I'm kind of aiming for 100 subs, so that would be much appreciated. But also like to push my videos out to more people, but the only people who can do that are you, the person who's watching, by liking, subscribing, and of course commenting on the videos. But with all that said and done, I do upload every single day, or every day rather, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.